Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I hope we are all doing well. For those of you waiting for me to come online this evening, I say welcome. And for those of you joining me for the first time, I also say welcome to you, irrespective of where you are watching me from. Now, as usual, I would want to know where you are watching me from. As you can see, if you look at the lower banner, lower scrolling banner there, you will see the topics as suggested also in the headline or the heading, where it's going to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Now, we would start this evening conversation with the threat by our brothers saying you will have no peace if you go ahead and ban open grazing. Then we move into Loretta Onochie being rejected as INEC commissioner, analyze the consequences and what that means, and also we move into Chidimma in the part 2 of the video in her denial regarding the killing of the man which she was accused of killing. When you look at all these things, you keep wondering, why would a police, a federal police for that matter, turn this criminal investigation almost into like what could be considered to be a BBN? Is there a BBN or BBNJ, whatever they call it, whatever BB Niger is it? So, Big Brother House, yes. I watched the video. The level of, I don't know, in video editing, there is a lot of things that was done with that video, and I'm like, what point are they trying to make? We will finally conclude with the basketball team where merit reigns supreme. Those, many of you have argued that they are and could be called the dot in the circle basketball team. Now, as many have said, the issue with Chidimma's case, I think someone commented here saying he's like a celebrity interview. I do not know if you're worried as I am, because the moment I watched it, I said, obviously, I don't necessarily talk about, personal issues. I want to stay with issues that have to do with the society, not on person. So when you see me veer into talk about something like Chidimma, for instance, you understand that there is some societal damage that I can see, hence me wading into it, talking about it. And I know that those in authority and the police as well, I know you do watch my program. So I believe you can, take one or two things away from here, because this is not the way to go. On that note, I will say good evening once more, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am still Mazi Ezoke, and you are onto Njenje Media TV. If you can, please, I would beg you, especially those of you on YouTube, to kindly share this video, like it. That is the least you can do. Like this stream. Now, for some reason, YouTube has been suppressing, notifications for those of us who are more critical to government and more critical to, issues going on in some nations. Sadly, Nigeria is one of those nations, and our subscribers and our views are being suppressed. So the only thing I can ask us is to help do me a favor by subscribing to this channel, and at the same time, sharing and liking this video. If you do so, more people will get to watch this stream. Now, let's quickly get to the meat of the matter. Someone is saying, we all know why you are talking about her. She's a fine babe. I think you're talking absolute rubbish, absolute arrant nonsense. Sorry, but You know, it's she's a fine girl. I mean, she's a normal girl, not fine. If you want to define fine, if you want to define pretty or fine, she is actually nowhere near that such description. Honestly, I mean, she's an okay average girl, but I will be surprised and disappointed if you that wrote this, if you haven't taken note of what the police is trying to make out of this. I have not seen any case of murder, you've been accused of murder, rather than your case to be dealt with. Even the first interview, I said it before, the first interview that she granted wasn't necessary. Listen, you know, sometimes I don't understand. Maybe is it that when people live so long in Nigeria, they begin to reason from their backside or what? How can a girl who is being accused of killing somebody, she's being granted media interview everywhere? What serious nations do is that they finish their investigation, then the police commissioner or the police mayor or police whatever would come and give press interview with minute by minute reconstruction of what happens. Most times what they actually do is they will now get people, graphic designers, they will reconstruct from their investigation what they think happened, which is in most cases over 19% accuracy. Sometimes they even get actors to act to reconstruct what happened. Not in this manner. No matter what some of us would think, I think, I think just someone just saying that that we're talking about it because it's. I think that's honestly being ridiculous, ridiculously ridiculous. But again, let me not engage in such. Anyway, so please, people, let's smash the like button. Yes, Mazi Ken said it. Let's smash the like button. Like it. Let this stream. Invite others because this evening is loaded. It's loaded. I'm telling you, it's 4 topics in one. We're going to start with the ban on open grazing. You can imagine where we've been threatened, the whole South. If you go ahead and implement your ban on open grazing, you're not going to have it good with us. And I'm like, what the hell? Who the freaking... I wouldn't break my own rule. We don't cuss in this channel, but sometimes you feel like, Jesus Christ. Someone looks at you, governors, 17 of you, representing a people. You take a decision saying, we are not going to allow people walk around with cows, kill our people, rape, maim, destroy properties. We want, as a peaceful people, we're not going to ban it, but we are going to restrict that movement of cows be done only by trucks, not by the way you used to do it. And you have the infantry to come and tell the people, ooh, you have to. Or we don't give you presidency. Listen, people, when I heard about, when they said, I read the nonsense, I mean, that's the best way to describe it, the nonsense called, oh, if you don't, we're not going to give you the president. I'm like, Jesus Christ, where is your orifice? Shove it down there. That's where it belongs. Stick your presidency. Just shove it. Push it hard. What a freaking nonsense. I mean, we're talking about people dying. We're talking about respecting one another. And all you can tell us is, well, if you don't, people, quicken this madness. Just make it quicker. Because, honestly, it's really getting me upset. Anyway, I think it's too early to get upset. Let's calm down a little bit. So people, if you haven't done so quickly, kindly, I beg you, subscribe to this channel and let's come back to it. Yo. So we're back. My quote of the day is: the foundation of every agitation is injustice. Injustice is the brewer. Injustice is the mother. Injustice is the fermenter. Injustice is the reason. Injustice is virtually that main and only reason why people agitate. You cannot hear in a family where you treat your wife, your daughter, your son, you treat everyone with respect, give them their dues, everything, and they are agitating to remove daddy. We don't want daddy. We don't want daddy. It doesn't happen. When you see conspiracy, when you see, oh, daddy, let's do away with daddy, there is something, there is, injustice happening. The same reason why many of us say, be careful the way you treat your children when you are, like us now, when you are in your top form, because time will come when your energy will fail you. And we do not want that when that time comes that your children will treat you the same way you have done to them. On that note, people, I will say once more, welcome back and welcome to everyone. I'm welcoming you this evening, and I would start with, let me start with the lightest of all. Let me start with Laurie Onochie. Let me start with Laurie Onochie. As you all know, Laurie Onochie, the the one who denied the APC party last week by saying that she wasn't a member of the APC because she was hoping that she will be getting.
Has received wide condemnation from the public.
Okay, so you see this video here in the in the Senate committee was interrogating her, and obviously I also have in her case with Emeku Gwonye, whom I've also had here on this platform. She swore an affidavit earlier this month. No, yeah, in June, I think, around June 27th, where she said in her affidavit that she is clearly written there, Loretta Onochie, blah, 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 female, this, an active member of the All Progressive Confidence. It's not me, that's the name your president gave it, All Progressive Confidence. So, and that she is a member of the All Progressive Confidence, blah, blah, yati. And suddenly, the same woman comes in and
wide
says
condemnation from the public over her alleged partisanship and membership of the governing All Progressive Congress, thereby leading to tons of petitions against her to the National Assembly. But at this screening before the Senate Committee on INEC, Onochie categorically denied any membership of the APC and debunked any partisanship despite petitions against her before the committee.
Are you a member of any political party as present?
I am not. Since 2019, when President Muhammadu Buhari won his second term, I have removed myself from anything political, not even anticipating that I will be here today defending my nomination to INEC. It was never in my, I never.
Hey, sister, you are a bad liar. Not even anticipating. Yet you fail to tell us the reason why you suddenly wake up and say you're no longer part of the APC. Huh? Even a guy like Mohammed will say that would probably bring the.
When my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, "Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why did they call you liar, Mohammed?"
So I'm not in any way insinuating that your name should be now changed to Liar Onochie, but it's not fair to tell us, stories like this. I think we are all, and we know what is actually happening, sister. Okay? So you are not a member of any political party. I'll leave it at that. You're not a member of any political party. Oh dear. Okay. That's interesting. You're not a member of any political party. Okay.
Never envisaged it, but here I am.
But some senators will take none of that, as they insisted that Onochie must be put on oath before the public can believe her. This led to huge disagreements among the lawmakers.
My only request, sir, will be that Madam Onochie be placed on oath to repeat what she said as to whether or not she's a member of a political party.
He will only put somebody on oath in a committee if we're having
anyway,
if there was.
That's by the way. So they went ahead to argue, but today, in as much as we all know that the Senate we currently have are rubber stampers, as I used, as famously we want to call them. They are rubber stampers. They like stamping stuff. What they once told the president, Mr. President, if you can bring laws, we can pass them. Now you are telling the president to bring laws to you, not that you bring laws or you make laws, but the Mr. President can now bring laws to you so you can pass them. But give it to them, because obviously they knew that if this level of absurdity is allowed to fly, they'll be doing a great disservice to themselves. Bear in mind, two things are happening right now. The electoral amendment bill suddenly has the part that says voter transmission to be done electronically is being yanked off. So with this, you can know when some Nigerians are already calling for total boycott of the 2023 election, with Onochie being there and removing the the electronic transmission, that is going to be the dead. That's going to be the dead end. So they somewhat redeemed themselves, but not all, by saying it's quite funny, because I think after the report was presented and it was called and put on a voice vote, and the following then happened when it was put on a voice vote to say the following happened.
As a commissioner representing Delta State in the Independent National Electoral Commission, those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
So the nays have it on those rare occasions that you think, wow, okay. But one thing that has kept bothering me is to see, why must the president insist, in Delta State, a population of over 6 million people, how come only one person with so much baggage, so much, going negative for her, will be the only person you can find? I mean, it's not actually like, oh, he's been with me for all thick and thin, all the time we were in CPC, ANPP, or whatever. No, it's someone who actually came recently to your fold. But here we are. There is nothing until the Senate saved the day. So that's on Onochie. You can see that Onochie has been yanked off, in as much as she blocked me on Twitter, but I sent, when they don't read, I used another account and I sent her an email. I said, can she come and clear herself? See if she will take, if she will come. If she comes, I would basically ask her simple questions for clarification and present the evidence before her and see how she responds. But at the end of the day, if you're in this business and you're, trying to be fair to everyone, giving everybody the chance of fair hearing, there is no malice. No malice is kept. But one thing drives us to get to the root of, issues. And that's why the motto of Njenje Media is constantly trying, struggling, to explore the truth behind the headlines, the subliminal stuff that happens. What are those, the submerged? When you talk about the iceberg, not the things you see on the surface, but the things beneath. How do you go look into them, leaving your emotions at home and look at facts, which sometimes many of us don't like, because when things don't go the way we want them in terms of fact, putting them on the table, we think, oh, this person is sold out, he's been paid off, his sabo is this. And so that cracks me up, because many of us don't understand what's actually happening. So on that note, let's get into, as I said before, let's get into this Chidimma of a thing before we get to the open grazing, because the open grazing is the mother of all conversation. Because on that one, I have a fantastic guest, and I have a fantastic input on that one as well. So let's see where Chidimma comes in here. Now, here in this video, I will warn you ahead of time. Do not get angry, because this video, if you have watched the first one, if this video, haven't edited so much video, there is something that ails me in this video. I look at it, I look at the effort put and the professionalism put in this video, then I'm thinking, what is the intention here, people? We have to be at alert now, because I see narrative being changed. And disclaimer, I don't know Chidimma, I don't know the person she killed, neither do I know any of the families. I'm just commenting based on the things I've read, I've researched, I've seen. But watching this video, actually, a good friend on Facebook saw this on his profile. That's a Charles Obu. That's how I actually got to know. But I watched it and I said to myself, now, wow, this is the video of the same girl that told us that after smoking, they had a kwakariko. After a kwakariko, they smoked again. And he went to the kitchen. He wanted to do again. I said no. And somehow I went to the kitchen and I got the knife, and he was wanting again. Then I stabbed him. He stabbed me, How can a girl that told the world, when no one forced her, the police weren't there, she was sitting down, it was only reporters, and she said this on her own volition, how can she now be telling us this? Watch and be the judge.
It's busy, like a busy person. I would say that
And again, sorry, I don't know if it's me. Listen, does this person look like someone in Nigerian police? Someone who is arrested? Why must she do her? I don't have hair anyway, but why must she use her hair to cover one eye like this? You look at all these things, I'm like, are they trying to shoot and show us a Nollywood movie, or is this a crime investigation? What is the Nigerian police actually up to? Why is her hair so well done, covering her eyes, putting her to, are they trying to move us away from the real deal and present her as an innocent, sexy looking girl, or what? I am not saying that she is innocent or that she committed a crime. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm concerned that there is something the police is up to. Because actually, I was one of those that first, the moment she granted that interview, it's here on Njenje Media. It's about 25 minutes. I was one of those that said, no, 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 no. This isn't the way to go. The police, I believe, is up to something. Pay attention on the camera movement. Pay attention on the many cuts. Many of you who do not understand video editing, but pay attention on the many cuts. Suddenly you see something zoomed like this. Suddenly it goes. Suddenly you have another camera angle. Suddenly you have another camera angle. I'm like, what are they trying to tell us with this? Watch.
At some point, I got to know that he likes to carry girls, and he smokes, he drinks, and takes drugs also. So I don't know deep about him. His character, he gets angry easily. He has issue with his wife, but his children is what is targeted as family man. He wasn't into happy married life or something. It was just more of catering for his kids. I can't remember some of his friends that I've met, but remember their faces kind of really, or their names, but I've met two people that I said friends something. I don't have 10 million in my bank.
You know, honestly, I'm watching this, I'm thinking, even me, Mazi here, sitting down here, my video editor doesn't do so much good job like what they are. Is this the same police that don't have any camera, that don't have computer, don't have typewriter? They don't have anything. They don't have typewriter, to talk of computer. Suddenly the same Nigerian police is producing a first-class movie, premiere. Look at someone. This is someone being investigated. Look at the way she smiles. Look at the way she does. You know, it just does. Let me not break my finger for myself. I don't know how they do. But look at the way she's doing like this. You know, doing her. I'm like, now, wow. Well, there. Anyway, let's watch.
Bank account. I have like 400 or 500 accounts. Michael gave me his laptop. He had 2 laptops, so I told him that I wanted laptop, so he gave me one, and that was what I sold to get the money. It was a Mac Pro. I wasn't doing Onochie when I was with him anymore. I was getting more from him than doing the ushering, so there was no need on ushering. Ushering can be 15K, 20K. It gives me more than the ushering.
Please, maybe my brain is too old. Maybe I'm too archaic. I've been hearing ushering as in church, ushering, usher in a church, or I don't know. Please, is anyone in the chat section able to educate me? Because I think as Onochie, I'm too old that my brain doesn't comprehend. But I've listened to this before, and I'm listening to now, but I'm still yet to understand what she meant by ushering. That she can get 20K by ushering. I don't know if ushers in the events or in the church, if they I don't know. So what does she mean by ushering, please?
Anyway, said it was leaking. So then they said I should book. They said it was free and I too was free. So let's then see. It was Sunday on the 13th June. I decided to check online about the shortlets because it said that I didn't want hotel. There will not be Netflix, or it will not be fun, being in the house or something. So that was when I decided to check for a shortlet. So I sent it to him and he said it was okay. Then he said I should go check the place out. So I checked it and it was okay. Then he made payments. He sent 105. That was for 4 days. After I paid the money, so After like 1 hour, he came. When he came, then we went to get food. We went out to eat and also get drinks. And we're just indoor, watching movie, drinking, smoking. He woke up before me, but I was still feeling sleepy and dizzy because of the smoke, drink, and the drug. So he asked what we I need, like what we need. So I was like, we need to buy food and drug because the drug that we brought already finished. He sent the money to the account. Why the other one? He gave me the card because I was trying to make payments and it didn't go through. So he gave me the card. I didn't have access to his card, but
Look, he gave him his card. She didn't have access to the card, but she knew the PIN number. And it gets even weird. And this is the point that I watched it, I paused, and I started thinking. She said, when I left, he was alone. I came back. Anyway, let me allow her say it herself.
I know the PIN code. Before I was leaving, he stood up to lock the door. But
did you hear that? Before I was leaving, he stood up, because many of you might be watching the style, the putting hand. I mean, this thing is just crazy. Where is Buhari? Where is the head of police or anything? Are you guys not watching this? This is making me mad. This cannot be. Even if it's in America, they wear the yellow whatever. But just look at this girl like a hip hop, yeah man, yo, This is mad. This is crazy. We're talking about human life. I'm not saying that she is innocent or that she's committed the crime. Far from it. That's not what I'm saying. But the way and manner of presentation of this is in all ramification from A to Z definitely wrong. This is not the way to do it.
When I got in, I was knocking. As there was no answer, I opened the door, was already open.
Okay. Listen, this thing, I hope the police are not stupid. Sorry, but she said, I left and he locked the door from inside. Meaning, if you lock the door from inside, there is no way you can open it, because someone locks the door from inside. Two things are going to happen. It's either you're going to leave the keys at the keyhole or you're going to bolt it. So there is no way you can open the door from outside. And in her words, she said, I locked the door. When I left, he locked the door from inside. Then this happened.
Like it wasn't locked. And the duvet was on the floor.
Are you a spirit? How did you get inside the freaking house? Please, let me go back a little bit. How did you get inside?
I was knocking. As there was no answer, I opened the door, was already.
Nobody answered. Nobody answered. He locked the door from inside. Suddenly, you opened the door. Bravo. Bravo.
It opened, like it wasn't locked. And
now look at this shot. Tell me that the Nigerian police don't want me to go mad. When someone is being tried, you do not allow them to fly their hair. They do ponytails. That's what they do. Not even schools that you have your liberty. Not even schools allow this these days, talk less of someone being investigated. You know that the way the hair is actually can be used, someone could get the hair twisted or strangle her or whatever. You don't allow this. So why this beauty pageant interview? Why is it that we can't even look into her eyes? Because the hair is, please, wallahi, you people are up to something. I do not know what you're up to, but whatever you're up to is not good. So if you're joining me for the first time, please kindly share the stream, share this video, subscribe to this platform if you haven't done so.
The duvet was on the floor, plus pillows. The bed, the couch was facing the door, and the bed was stained with blood already, and the floor where he was blood.
And if you pay attention as well, you hear the music playing. You know, this is music they use in massage music. They are playing this. Are they trying to massage our brain so that our brain freezes when we hear her voice, soft voice, and this music plays? All of us suddenly, oh, it appears. You know, when you do, when you use, some of you, maybe the younger ones, you wouldn't know it. Growing up, we used to use a feather. You know, bed feather, the you know, the soft ones. We just feather some of the beat and we stick it in, and you'll be maybe that's what they're trying to do. If not, why play them? Because I've basically tried to understand why the music, why this kind of shot. I do not understand. I have no answer.
Music was on, the TV was on. The room was already disarranged, like someone broke in. Then I saw him on the floor. I didn't know what to do. I took my things with his thing and left.
I think at this point, I say, I don't know. If the police is not able to do something, then I can go smack myself. Even if, okay, let's assume you are innocent. You came in, a man whom you considered your boyfriend. You saw him in his pool of blood, in your own statement, not mine. You saw the duvet everywhere. The only thing that could come to your mind to take credit card, take his items, take laptop, take your item. You did not raise any alarm. You just left. Haba, my daughter Chidimma, fear God now. Haba. Not like this now. You could be my daughter, but fear God. Come on. Do you know, even if it's someone you haven't known, do you know there is the first instinct that will come from anybody, any natural instinct is to shout, especially women. The moment she opened that door, saw this person in his pool of blood, assuming without considering that she was telling the truth, the first instinct is to just very high-pitched, loud shout before she even begin to regain herself. That initial shout and shock would definitely get attention. No, but she calmly. Now she even tell you to a point, oh, I now saw blood in my clothes. I went in, had my shower changed. At that point, I said, man. Anyway, I don't know. It's a shame.
I was afraid. I didn't know if I have raised alarm, they would have arrested me for doing it, because I and him were just the only people in the room. I just left. I was packing my things to leave. Then
I was packing my things to leave. And someone is saying, man, I'm not supposed to analyze this, that this is ongoing. Listen, in a case like this, yes, I'm not supposed to analyze it, but who brought it to the social media? For what reason? Whatever the reason is why this case is now turning into a social media sensation. It's turning into like a BB Niger program. Whatever reason they have in mind in throwing it up to us to swallow it, hook, line, and sinker, the same reason I have the right to say, people, pay attention to these things, because these things are not normal. I'm sorry, but I have to, because, you know, I watch these things. I'm speaking to myself. Anybody who walked into the room would think Mazi has gone gaga because the things that I see here doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
That my clothes were stained, so I changed it to another. I took the bag.
Listen, my cloth was stained. How? You opened the door. You saw someone lying there. You saw blood everywhere in the duvet. Your cloth was stained with blood. How? How? By walking into a murder scene. Why? Do you know one day I was walking in a park? You see, these are father instinct. I saw, this little boy just, unconsciously, he was just about to fall. I quickly ran, just that child doesn't, before the mom then ran up to me. But that instinct, and when I held the child, these Oyibo sometimes bear in mind the color of a thing. Smiling, but wasn't smiling because it was like, well, and why are you touching my child or something like that? But it's just that fatherly instinct that you saw a child falling down. At that moment, it didn't even occur to me. I only saw a baby. It doesn't, whether black, white, yellow, it didn't matter. But there are some things instinct does. You come to your house, you see probably someone, your visitor is dead, and all you can do is you book the room, because by booking that room at that point in time, it's your name, it's your apartment, it's your everything, it's your home, it's your abode. I've received letter by just flying into America. If I'm staying in a hotel in 1 week, that hotel is my abode. At the airport, they ask me, where are you going to stay? Your residence, that is the hotel. I don't know the room number. If I'm ordering anything, the delivery address, that hotel. At that point in time, that hotel is your address. And you just walk into search. And that's it. You just keep quiet. Come on, Chidimma, this is not adding up well. I mean, we have to move on.
I just left. I was packing my things to leave. Then I noticed that my clothes were stained, so
You were packing your things to leave. You noticed that your clothes had stain. Where did the stain come from?
Changed it to another.
So you changed it to another. You had the time to change it. You had the time to go around, go inside whatever was in the bag and leave, leaving the same man to die in his pool of blood. And you want us to believe you had no hands in it. Listen, I don't believe the first story. Neither am I believing this second story. I believe the truth about what happened to that man is yet to be heard. If I told that we might eventually, sadly, the way these things are going, from these cinematography that I have seen today, I think there is now, I am now more convinced that there is more to this incident that you and I can
took the bag that contained his ID and documents, bank statements. My bag was already on the floor. I left my bag on the floor. And then the stuff.
Well, you see, Pencha, let me bring this question. I'll address this question quickly. Pinchas Badu says, are you happy that such a man is sleeping with your daughter and introduce her to hard drug? You see, one thing you and I cannot talk about here is who introduced who to what. Okay, from the way Chidimma has been, well, without being prejudiced here. Now, if the man was divorced or was separated from the wife, he has every right to move with whomever on earth, whomever she wants to. The moment you turn 20, 21, you're an adult. You make your decision to go with someone who is 50, 60. That's your freaking problem. Now, on his own case, I don't want to get into it because, again, he's dead. Whatever we'll be talking now, it will be, it's a prejudice case against the dead. But if we want to be very, very objective here, irrespective of what our moral high ground we think, or high moral pedestal, wherever we think we stand, if a man whom at that point had separated from the wife is moving and cutting to know a girl, probably with quote unquote intention to lead into marriage, and you say, well, age is a number. If they decide to go together, so what I'm only saying is there is more that meets the eye today. Is that honestly, the first narrative, second narrative still doesn't cut it for me.
It was with was on the TV set. That's where the stuff I took was on the TV set. So I just packed them and just put them into the nylon and left. I took his phone. The following week, I was home. Then I went out to withdraw some money from the ATM that I was with.
I beg, enough of this thing. A lot is. I don't want to get. Listen, a lot is. For me, your innocence would have been proven if you raised the alarm, if the security of that apartment was called in, if, I say it's without sounding to be blaming, but a lot of ifs here. If this was done, question is, why weren't all these things done? What were you running away from? Honestly, I think it also calls for question those that are now still free and alive watching, that please, when we witness some crime, that we should. Yes, Nigerian police doesn't matter, but at least when these things comes on to the court of the public opinion, that when people begin to analyze it, you see, there is, because if she had innocently, as she's claiming to in this video where she's sticking her hands in her pockets, covering one of her eyes with her hair, and the camera is multiple camera angle, by the way. That's the thing. That's this thing, astonishing thing with this green screen background with this thing was done in a studio. If I tell you, let me tell you why I'm actually angry about this. That this shoot was professionally done in a studio, in a modeling studio. That's why, first of all, they use the green screen background. That's why they're able to do the get it to this black background. You see the camera angle, at least you have about 2 to 3 cameras in here. To what end? That's where I want Nigerians to think. To what end? What is the end game here? Is this only to prove her innocency or just to sell her as something else? I don't know. But again, whether I know now, I don't know what you guys, I don't know what's your take, Whatever you think, I think someone is saying, sorry, Wilson is saying she wasn't alone. Listen, Wilson, you are still in part 1. We are now in part 2, getting to part 3. We are getting into season 3. While you're talking about her being alone, it is only her, the question of her being alone or not being alone only occurred in season 1 when she said she did it. But now this is season 2 by the virtue of this video. In season 2, she's not even in the equation at all. So she's not even. Badu, I think you should stop because I've addressed Badu. I think I've addressed your question. So again, that's that's on it. Honestly, I look at these things, I'm just thinking something is definitely not adding up here. Well, once more, everyone, thank you very much. You're watching Mazazoke here, and this is once more Njenje Media TV. We've looked at the case of Loretta Onochie, who denied her party, the APC, All Progressive Confidence, and Chidimma, whom I believe, for some weird reason, the Nigerian police authority is trying to turn into some form of celebrity. But again, there might be a season 3 of this video. This is the 3rd video. Okay, this is season 3. Okay, Honora is saying that this is season 3. So we are heading into season 4. And for some weird reasons, this is not adding up. And this, one would expect a person accused of murder should be under detention, and in detention, the type of clothing that she wore, the type of hairstyle, including maybe the minor little foundation makeup or whatever it is, those things probably wouldn't be so necessary. And the music playing at the background of the video makes me wonder what is the intention here. I don't want to preempt anything, but a lot doesn't sit well with me. Honestly, a lot doesn't sit well with me. I believe and I hope and I wish that the people who are in charge would take note, and someone who is high up there would actually stop this public drama, because that's what it is, and do proper investigation. One would have expected an autopsy, a forensic investigation at the door, every single freaking, the knife, everything, the fingerprints would have been taken, and all suspect fingerprinted, putting things together. But maybe, if I say something like that, somebody will say, maybe, Maz, you're watching too much Inspector Colombo, or maybe whatever Miami. It's where you see people do murder investigation. Wallah, you want to turn an inspector overnight. Because at the end of the day, when these things are done, you find out how from unsuspecting quarters where eventually the lead might even lead to. So let's get to the third part of this conversation. And that third part is on the open grazing. Open grazing, our brothers told us so. They said we must leave open grazing if we want to live in peace. And I'm like, when has it gotten to this point that we can no longer speak about ourselves or speak for ourselves without being threatened that if we do, one thing or the other would happen to us? When has it become a crime for a people to actually sit down and look after themselves? When has it become a crime to say that we want our farmers to go to farm without fear of being harassed or molested? We want them to go to farm and do their normal business, and go home in peace. When has it become a crime that we no longer have the ability to make these decisions? Now, let's look at this and let's pay attention to the following. You are looking at this, and if you read, let me quickly highlight this. Now, this source is Daily Post, and the date of the publication, let me quickly show us here. That is the 12th. So that was published yesterday. Now, Daily Post, and it says, open grazing ban. There will be no peace. Fulani groups warn southern governors. A Fulani group, Gan Allah Fulani Development Association, GAFDAN, has warned against the resolution of southern governors to ban open grazing. GAFDAN said a ban on open grazing, let me say this here, a ban on open grazing would lead to breakdown of peace between northerners and southerners. A ban on open grazing. People, this is equal and this is akin to someone, you traveled and someone came into your bedroom. The person is sleeping. You came back and say, Oga, can you vacate? And the person said, no, I can't, unless you want us to fight. This is not a question of fight. This law is not for the North. This law is open grazing. Southerners do have cows as well. Let cows no longer move on the street and let them no longer graze openly. There are areas you can graze on, but you got to move them by trucks. How on earth is this attributing it to hatred? The group says, the group insisted that the decision of the governors will groom hatred between Southern and Northerners. Then Mazi Ezeoke is asking how? By telling you to attend to your cow so that they don't destroy my property. And they go ahead to say Southern governors under the umbrella of the Southern Governors Forum, SGF, had agreed to ban open grazing in their regions. During their meeting, blah, blah, blah. Then, however, Gaftan, the National Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi, described the resolution as unfortunate and capable of affecting Nigerian unity. And I'm like, freaking hell, which unity are we talking about? Which unity? But that's by the way. Now let's come back and have a very erudite brother that is, who appeared on Arise TV yesterday and made a very fantastic submission as it concerns these open grazing. And here are his submissions. I found it very, very interesting. Let me bring it in.
Their northern counterparts have reacted unfavorably to their decisions and communiques. The dichotomy between the northern and the south.
Pardon me, I think it's. Let me try and bring back again. So at the end of the day, one thing that I don't entirely understand is when the northern governors be meeting on their own. No one from the, no one could actually antagonize them. Remember, John Kerry came to this country to see the Northern Governors Forum. After seeing them, went to Sokoto to see. After leaving Sokoto, left Nigeria without seeing the president of a nation. The country didn't break down. Have we forgotten? But here, a people, a region is being threatened because they say no to open grazing. I think there is limit to this level of madness. There is limit to it.
To the blind, these divisions, watchers say, are likely to endure going into the 2023 general elections. In the Asaba meeting, the communique was about the South's bold opposition to the open grazing practice by Fulani herdsmen. In the Lagos meeting, the communique was the decisions on the Petroleum Industry Bill, Electoral Act Amendment, 2023 zoning arrangement, and timeline for enacting legislation against open grazing. Joining us now is a journalist and political analyst, Adeniyi Kunu, and he will be sharing his perspective on this development and other national issues. Good morning, Mr. Kunu.
I want to say thank you very much for having me, and good morning to our viewers across the world from Nigeria today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, please.
Now tell me, I mean, it doesn't look like the southern governors are asking for the moon.
That got me there.
What precisely is the issue? I know that the PIB is there, rotational president.
For some reason, the interview, but obviously you can hear the interview. I think the video will play catch up because I think the video is somewhat buffering, but the video will still play catch up. Once I start playing that. But again, the guy that gave this interview is Adeniyi Kunu. So let's hope that the video has buffered enough now.
That got me there.
What precisely is the issue? I know that the PIB is there, rotational presidency, and they were specific about the fact that the presidency should come to the South this time around, after 8 years with President Buhari in 2023. Why then are we having, discordant tunes from their counterparts from the North? What's going on here?
I think it's because the governors of the North are surprised that in 2021, the Southern governors have decided to wake up and to speak in unison over an issue of such magnitude or importance. I should say this, that for many years there have been plenty of iniquities committed across the North-South divide, although the iniquities have not been without the complicit postures of the Southern leaders. For instance, you're talking about a River State that has 23 local governments and a Sokoto State that has 23 local governments, but they have different representatives at the House of Reps. You're talking about a Katsina that has about 31 local governments and an Oyo State that has about 33, but different representatives. So we're talking about the iniquities that have continued over the years. Then you're also talking about the illogic of certain states that are referred to as educationally disadvantaged. And then it leaves me wondering if those who live in the South have two heads and those who live in the North have one head. So for many years, we have seen these imbalances. And for the first time in the nation's history, and the year 2021 is very significant regarding the unison with which the governors of the South have spoken. And I must say very categorically that the discomfort is as a result of the fact that their counterparts in the North are shocked that despite all the thoughts they've been able to do to keep them quiet and perhaps subservient, they're not able to keep them quiet at this point, especially as it concerns the lives and property of those who live in the South. And I must say very categorically that one of the unfortunate experiences that have become the norm with my very wonderful brothers and leaders in the North is there's a culture of silence over issues that even affect the people living there. So for this time, the people who are leading the Southerners have decided that we don't appreciate this culture because it doesn't do us good. Then I need to also say very clearly that apart from the PIB, which was a very significant issue raised, do not also forget is also the imbalance of the administration of justice that is very well evident regarding how they deal with issues. So let's get it very straight that I need to use my position that you have afforded me to say that in the first place, the first citizens of the South are the governors of the South, and they have a constitutional responsibility to speak to issues that have common impact, which they have done. And it is well within their constitutional right, even if I'm not also very comfortable with the Constitution, to speak to issues that they have spoken to. And if you look at it also, let's say this. God bless the soul of the former president, Umar Yar'Adua. He, in his executive draft, I have tried to educate those who do not understand that the former president of blessed memory is a very properly educated person. And he thought it proper in the executive draft he submitted to have earmarked 10% as what should go to the host communities. And for people who perhaps should be reminded as well, the PIB has 4 segments, and one of the critical segments is the host communities bill. He drafted and he actually included 10%, and what I expected really was for those who took over from him to have said, this particular man thought it good and he earmarked 10% and to have left it. President Muhammad Buhari reduced it to 2.5%. And it was back and forth to 3%. I think it is very unjust to do that. Then also let me call the attention of the world to this. If we talk about the frontier basins that are to get 30%, you only need to know what are the number of the basins mentioned in the frontier basins in the South. I've spoken to those who are petroleum experts who have said that for many years they have discovered that the kind of resources they have in the frontier basins in the North are not commercially viable. Why then do we want to pump money in areas that are not commercially viable? So the positions of the governors of the South, as you have said, Steve Ayorinde, is that they are not asking for the moon. In fact, the moon is accessible now. If they have asked for it, they would have been able to go there. So what they have asked for is well within the right, and nobody should be uncomfortable, except, of course, you have what we don't understand.
Well, right. Well, you know, it does appear that rather than seek a neutral position, the current administration is siding with northern groups and have embraced their positions, especially with regards to open grazing. Some analysts have accused the administration of fostering disunity among the groups. What's your position on this matter? You know, the president had instructed the country's Attorney General, Abubakar Malami, to search for the Gazette.
You can imagine, this is 2021, and the president is still talking about searching for the Gazette of First Republic. Searching for the Gazette of First Republic. What a shame. What an utter shame, honestly. And you come to think of it, you keep asking yourself, I mean, just like as this guy eventually come to tell us, you see that it's either there is a high level of mischievousness being played, or that the president is being misled, nilly-willy here. You know, it could be, and that's what I probably have now come to believe, that he is being
that enabled open grazing preparatory to reclaiming grazing routes and reserves. What's your reaction to this?
I laugh. There's a book written by Cyprian Ekwensi in 1966 called The Burning Grass. It's a Nigerian classic that many people perhaps have not understood. And what you need to do, if you're able to get that book, it's about 100 and something pages. Just look at it. It's a fictive work, but it documents the migratory lifestyle of nomads from that side, especially to the Middle Belt during the dry season. But you see, there is also more than meets the eyes recorded in that book for people who perhaps understand metaphysics, and you'd get to understand what is happening. So that's one side. So I've given you a reference. Then secondly, let me say this. Evolution is part of human beings, and we're not talking about when we have only Homo erectus and Homo sapiens and Homo habilis. Evolution implies, connotatively or loosely, the changes that are inherent in the lifestyle of human beings. So you'd not expect me from, at this moment in the 21st century, to trek from here to Jerusalem when there are developments regarding how I'm going to move regarding air transportation. The aspect of open grazing, we have realized, is not also helping not only the people that have misunderstanding, but also the quality of meat. Let's say this and be very sincere with ourselves. Open grazing has been described as one of the reasons why we keep having problems. And let me also say this for the records. At the height of this problem, the former Chief of Defense Staff, Onochie, took his time to do certain findings, because part of the question they were asked after they became ambassadors nominees had to do with what they did during their time in office to deal with the issues of the clashes that appears not to be abating. And he said that whilst in office, they went as far as Kenya to look at how they were able to do certain things to deal with such issues. And the documentations were submitted to this administration to look at so that they can actually deal with it. And if you also look at it, and let's be clear.
Ask yourself, as you just noted here, those findings and those reports that were brought for this administration to look into, ask yourself, why does it appear that this administration is not ready, willing, eager to look into, not to talk of implementation of those reports? Why? Again, would it be fair to say that there is also more that meets the eye in terms of not trying to, with the lack of political will, actually, if I may borrow the words of El-Rufai, would it be fair to say that in his words as well, it's that he plays a role here, that they are unwilling and not ready to do the right thing? Because, look, we have a video here. I'll play that to us before I continue this. This is what El-Rufai said in 2014, when Goodluck Jonathan was still the president of Nigeria at that time. He made the following statement. Now he is in the, he is in the driving seat.
One of
You
these
now
girls
ask
was
yourself,
Jonathan's daughter. The story will be different. The only reason why
at this point in time,
those girls should
at this point in time, he was accusing, this is when we had the Bring Back Our Girls protest. At this point in time, he was only accusing the government, saying that the government could stop this madness and get these girls out if they had the political power and if they had the political will. Now listen to him.
girls should be done. If one of these girls was Jonathan's daughter, the story will be different. The only reason why these girls are still in captivity is because they are not the daughter of any important man in Nigeria, and we know it. And if you say I'm politicizing terrorism, go and rescue the girls so that I don't have a basis to politicize it.
So are you in support of negotiation?
I am in support of every option. When you have lives of your citizens at risk, you should not take any option off the table. You should be flexible. You should listen.
So now, and this is a man who is now in charge, a man whom his state has virtually turned to the kidnapping capital of Nigeria, a state where you wake up every day. Some now they go to crèche to kidnap young children that can't even, young nursery children. They go and kidnap girls. They go to private universities and kidnap girls and seize them just to make money. To a point that even Sheikh Gumi will come out and start giving excuses why he thinks why he thinks these criminals are better than another set of agitators. And you ask yourself, where is the justice? Where is justice in all this? So let's go back to the former video. For some reason, my system is it appears to be freezing a little bit.
The landmass in the north will forever, according to the lies of the cartographers, be bigger than the landmass in the south. So you'd have to ask me the question why I said the lie. So you only need to trek from Ogbomosho and you get to north central that they call Kwara State, which of course is one of the lies of the cartographers. But I don't want to dwell into that because that's another kettle of fish. Open grazing is one of the problems that we have in this country, not because it is wrong to graze your cattle in a region of the country openly, but to move your cattle to another part of the country and you enter into people's farmland and you graze your animal. So if this has been documented and has been found out to cause problem, it is only responsible of those who have leadership responsibility to speak to these issues. I have been privileged to live in the north. I still have very good friends that are from the northern region, but many of them do not support when you take your animals into vast lands that is the territory of another people. If you check the killings that have taken place, particularly in the north central part of the country, especially in Benue, you'd realize and agree with me that the problem of open grazing is primary to the issues that the governor has been facing for the past 6-7 years. And I must say this, at the moment when the governor resorted to enacting a law that deals with the issue of open grazing, look at what the Minister of Defense said. Let me tell you this. We cannot say we dislike anybody from any region of the country, but people should learn to respect the law. The former Defense Minister said, at the height of killing of January 1st, 2018, people in Logo and Gomo of Benue said that they should learn to live with their brothers from there. And I think that is most unfair to even the pregnant women that were killed on that particular day. So open grazing to me is what we must not allow. And let me also tell you how I felt pained. The minister the attorney, the Minister of Justice in this country, Malami, holds a very important position, and I was expecting him to be in that good standing to advise the president. How could you want to dig up, for instance, certain documents that were operational within the First Republic after we have had the Land Use Act coming to the late 70s? It doesn't work. And I tell you that misinforming the president itself is going to put the country in more crisis, because I expected him to have told the president, sir, the Land Use Act is superior to that particular gazette. We cannot go back to it. Yet he didn't do that. And I think that that is even an injustice to the leadership of this country. The president, for all I care, may have good intentions. He's not a lawyer. He doesn't have all the information. So his minister holds a very important role in advising him not to go there. But I need to say this.
Exactly.
Let us advise the people that think that open grazing will continue. I'm using this position to say that according to the law, it cannot hold water. And there's nothing we can do other than to say that all the states that have very big spaces in their state can help these cattle herders to settle somewhere and provide the water. There is no land to give to them in the south, because the southern side is even smaller. So, for instance, you can go to a place like Borno, the safer side of Borno. You can come to Niger State, which is the second biggest. You can go to Taraba, which is also very big. You can go to places like Kano. You can go to certain places and create this grazing route. And don't also forget that out of the over 400 grazing reserves we have, there are about only 3 or 5 of those in the north. Because even the people that settled with that...
Mistake, I think you misspoke. Only 3 or 4 are in the south, not the north. Majority of the grazing reserve
that created the grazing reserve understand that such rearing of cattle is the predominant occupation of the people from the north. And in their wisdom, they did that. Why then do we want to actually rock the apple cart? Nobody needs to do that, and I don't think it's the right way to go. Open grazing should discontinue, and it has to be discontinued as quickly as possible.
Very well said, Mr. Deni. We'll have to go on a short break now, and when we'll come.
So open grazing, as it is, in my, we've said this on this platform, is something that we cannot allow to continue. I mean, it's just like I keep saying or telling us here, for those of us who pay attention, it is criminal to talk about farmer-herder clash. There is nothing like that. There is absolutely nothing like farmer-herder clash. What we have is herders invading farmland. A farmer plants his crop don't move, they stay there, and some cow go there, come eat everything. Then thereafter ensues a rough fight. And in that rough fight, you say it is a farmer-herder clash. That's absolute nonsense. The government is not being sincere here. There is absolutely nothing like farmer-herder clash. Rather, it is herders invading farmland.
Southern Governors Forum and their demands and the reaction from the north. So thanks, Nii, for the deep perspectives you've been sharing. And I like the fact that you have brought Cyprian Equincy's The Burning Grass into this discourse.
Yes, of course.
Who knows, maybe part of the solution that we're expecting, lies in literature and the creative arts, who knows. Yeah. But I like the fact that you duly acknowledge the governors, as the first citizens of their state, whose opinion, whose demands, should count. But then I wonder, it isn't just about the fact that we have the Southern Governors Forum. There's also the Governors Forum itself, the chairman of which is a Southern person. Isn't there a role in all these for the Nigerian Governors Forum? Because if you've got 17 governors from the south, well, maybe 15, because Anambra and Akwa Ibom didn't quite participate. I was going to come down to that later. And then 19 from the north.
Yeah.
The only place where they meet, discuss, and agree is the Governors Forum.
Yeah.
And I see this to mean that, different perspectives as to how quality federalism or a federation should work. Shouldn't they return to that forum that has done, fantastic works in the past, especially under Governor Kayode Fayemi, to discuss the issues that are there and the iniquities that you referred to, I think that if the governors can hear themselves better, maybe the sort of reactions that we'll be getting will be a lot different, and Nigeria will not be unnecessarily heated up as we're having it currently.
I need to remind those who are students of political history that it's the same governors forum that did a mathematical abracadabra during the era of Goodluck Jonathan, where they said a certain figure was superior in terms of the position they held. I don't want to go into that detail because it's going to be, and I'm very happy that Steve, you're somebody who is well aware of what I'm talking about. So let me leave that issue. So we don't start to, let's not open that kettle of worms.
I understand you.
Fantastic. So now let's look at the Governors Forum. It is supposed to be a platform where people deal with issues dispassionately, where they are able to talk impartially about issues that affect Nigerians. But it has become a forum where perhaps the name and the prestige and perhaps the positions they hold seems to be more important than being very sincere amongst one another when they talk about issues of critical importance. And it is very obvious from the development we have now that the Nigeria's Governors Forum is not so much about a united set of governors that preside over issues and talk about what affects, the country for the people. Rather, it's just a conglomeration of those who are governors and feel that they at least should have a platform where they can call their own. Because if the Nigeria Governors Forum that actually is supposed to midwife issues the way it should is not speaking with one voice, it tells you that there is no need for that forum ab initio. And I'm very happy that the incidents we have on ground has brought us to understand that that forum is really not a forum we really need when we have to deal with issues dispassionately. And that is my position here very candidly. And I'm very happy that you took me into that conversation. Because if there's any forum where people should speak to issues impartially, unhypocritically, and very sincerely, it has to do with the Nigeria Governors Forum. So,
well, again, his argument that he's trying to drive here is that even if these things are not discussed at the regional governors forum, these things should be discussed at the governors forum proper. But again, if that will happen remains to be seen.
Solves the dead people and their family members who are still alive. So the North must first of all look at itself in the face and say, can we be sincere with these issues that affect us? In the past weeks, every week they kill and they abduct people.
They kill, they abduct people. Like I said before, look at Kaduna. Every week you wake up. Okay, the other day, was it on Saturday or on Sunday? An emir was kidnapped with other 13 or 11 cabinet members or people, his household or whatever. Just like that. Just like that. Yet the same people would, any slightest security breach we have in the Southeast, all the military formation will be sent down there as if, the Southeast is burning. But when you need the whole military formation to go and do the needful, suddenly you lose your voice.
And there's never been a time that the intelligence of this country has been able to even trace the people that have been speaking with a certain Shegumi.
Oga Adeni Ikunu, you are now beginning to sound like you're not a Nigerian. Shegumi was an army captain, if you don't know. Shegumi meets with bandits. Shegumi has police protection. Yet, the government says that we are buying jet fighters, we are getting ammunition to go and rout out bandits. Which bandits, if I may ask? The bandits, we know where they are because when police officers go with Shegumi into the forest to meet with bandits, obviously, They know where the bandits are. It's that simple.
And they're able to monitor some other people whose phone numbers we don't even know. Let us understand that for this country to function, this hypocrisy and these double standards must stop.
Now, this is where I give it to you, because you're speaking the truth, and that's why I'm only having you here. Because, you know, it's very rare to see Nigerians who are really very dispassionate and speak to issues without really minding if it's neither here nor there, but say it the way it should be. Adeni Kuno, because your citation this afternoon also made me happy. You are speaking the truth.
So the Governors Forum must wake up to realize that it has even done a disservice to the people that actually have them as leaders, so that we can have this country moving forward. I need to say this country deserves more than it gets, especially from its leaders.
Which leaders? The ones that run you and I off the street, running with siren, pure, on high speed, like mad people, as if they are going to meet their creator. The ones that will go abroad and see good roads, yet come back and pour lateral on top of a road already done, as in the name of palliative. And people will come back for Christmas, dust blowing everyone, causing Qatar, and we will clap for them. Oh, they've done fantastic for their constituency project. While we blame the governors, we must blame you and I as well.
And particularly the Nigeria Governors Forum, they should get up and be sincere about issues.
You're absolutely right. You know, the Southern governors worry about how this administration has deployed the Department of State Services in what they allege are clearly illegal nocturnal raids. They claim that the raids have been mainly targeted against the South separatist groups rather than the North terrorist bandits and kidnappers.
We would be glad to see tomorrow morning, go to, like you have invaded Iboho's house. Go and invade Sheikh Gumi's house. There is no way you would invade Sheikh Gumi's house. You will not see arms and ammunition. But hey, you won't do it because Sheikh Gumi is from certain place. But you go and invade someone else's house, be it in Afaruku or be it in Ibadan. You just go and invade it because they are certain people. Again, the foundation of every agitation remains injustice. And I add, injustice unaddressed, it will keep increasing the agitation. There is no two ways about it.
Give us your assessment to
Well, in the first place, let me say this very clearly, that the foundation of every agitation in this country is injustice.
You see, that's where I picked this quote, because I so much loved it. The foundation of every agitation is injustice. On that note, like this video. Save you very, I want us to honestly commend Ademi, so that whenever he watches this, he will know that people really like the way he spoke on behalf of every reasonable and right-thinking Nigeria across the globe, who watch and say, whoa, we still have men who still attempt to speak truth as they see it. Now, if you are joining us now for the first time, kindly please share this stream, share this video, like, and just click the like button. Make it, if you're on Facebook, make it turn blue. If you're on YouTube, the same thing. Just click on the like button, like the button. Like the button. Just click on the like button. If you're on YouTube and you're watching and reading the comments, you can just exit the comments, go to your left, make it like click on the like button and go back to live chat and continue your conversation. Again, in fact, if I had my means, I would give this man super chat because he really, really made my day with this quote. The foundation of every agitation is injustice. Think about it. Close your eyes. Think about it for a moment. You would understand. Be it in marriage, be it anywhere, the foundation of every agitation. I know go agree and go agree to tear rubber, to tear dross, and tear Brazil or whatever it's called, starts with any atom of injustice.
The foundation, listen very carefully and put this in your scrapbook, I beg you. The foundation of every agitation, sir, is injustice. As I'm here, if I do a disservice to the woman I call my wife, she will protest and the house may be unlivable. If I'm unfair,
mainly targeted against
the foundation of every agitation, sir, is injustice.
Again, I cannot thank you enough for this, for stating the obvious. Super chats for you. Even the people watching will surprise you now with super chat. That's going to be your portion for speaking truth.
As I'm here, if I do a disservice to the woman I call my wife, she will protest and the house may be unlivable. If I'm unfair to any of my children and one observes, I don't think I'm going to enjoy their patronage as their father. The same thing with this country. Let us look at what the president said. The president of the country has attended 2 United Nations General Assembly, and let me put it in perspective. The one that was viral in 2015 was the fact that he was talking about the self-determination for the people of where? Of Palestine. One. The second one that has not gone viral was the case he has made, also on record, for the Rohingya Muslims that have been wrongly treated by the people of Burma, known as Myanmar. That is the second one that has not gone viral. If the president could make a case for them, why is...
So now, for the video he made reference to, this is the video here, where your own president went to United Nations and he's making a case for other people to be given and accorded their right of self-determination.
Let's remind ourselves of the principles that led to the founding of the United Nations. Among those are peaceable coexistence and self-determination of peoples. In this context, Mr. President, the unresolved question of self-determination for the Palestinian people and those of Western Sahara, both nations having been adjudged by the United Nations as qualifying for this inalienable right, must now be assured and fulfilled without any further delay.
Now, this is your own president obviously stating that the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, the same man that invades the house of others is like a man who cuts head with a jackknife or penknife, but we never allow such to come near him. That's what he's actually doing.
Of this country uncomfortable with people asking for self-determination. Nigeria is a signatory to all the conventions available that permit or allows for self-determination. And why would anybody ask for self-determination? It is simply because the person feels, I am not being treated fairly in this marriage that has become very uncomfortable. That is one.
Bagam, in fact, let me clap for you. The reason why people are clamoring, for self-determination is because they do not feel happy in this union. It's as simple as that. They do not feel happy in this union. And that's why I like this guy. In plain English, you have my super chat, man. You have my super chat. You rock. You have my super chat.
One part of this conversation. Moving forward at the same time, when you are talking about the security operatives, don't forget that one of the most interesting parts of the role they played was to have gone to Kano to arrest somebody that said the president was going to take another wife. That is my own Department of State Service.
Did you hear that? We have somewhat reduced our DSS to the point of, remember that time they said the president was going to marry another wife, and DSS went to arrest an individual. because he said the president was going to marry another wife, forgetting that the president is a Muslim who by right has the right to marry four wives if he so wishes. It is his right. But yet someone was arrested. In this same country, a man who so adored the president so much named his dog after the president. And some people considered it an insult. And sadly, that dog was eventually killed and the man arrested. That is the same country, this same country. The foundation of every agitation remains and remains injustice being meted to them. That's all. There is no two ways about it.
Arresting people or arresting somebody who said the president wants to take another wife. In the first place, the president's religion allows him to take 4 wives. And if a man says the president was going to get married, I think that you could leave the police that also attend to civil issues to go and arrest him. The DSS should not be seen in such cases. Thirdly, there was something that happened when they paraded certain things they said they saw in Igboho's home. They saw the paraphernalia of his traditional religious worship. The last time I checked this constitution that I have issues with, freedom of conscience and religion is one. And you cannot circumscribe a man who has decided to be a traditional religious worshipper and protect himself as such by displaying the charms you found in his house.
Honestly, at this point, I am so happy that someone is also seeing and saying the something I said the first time I saw the DSS display these items. I clearly stated that I am taken aback and as to why DSS would display these skins with cowries or whatever as what? As trophy or as, because it doesn't make sense. These are traditional things. And if he has, as enshrined in the Constitution, the freedom of worship, while I am not a traditionalist in that, in the context of quote unquote to engage in such, but yes, I am not, but he has the right. It is within, this is one thing we must walk away from emotionalism here, people. Because I will see some of us, majorly Christians, who say, oh, yeah, he's doing this. For Christ's sake, let that be his case. The same way man says, okay, we'll criticize those that will go and burn the artifacts of my ancestors in the name of their madness called Pentecostalism or Christian fundamentalism. Things you didn't know how it was carved, how many man-hours it took your ancestors to carve them, appreciated by people elsewhere, taken abroad elsewhere, but you leave them at home. You have my fundamental brothers and sisters, fundamentalists I call them, they will go and destroy them in the name of destroying the ancestral causes. Then I ask them, since you've destroyed it, how many millionaires have sprang up from your families because you have destroyed the causes of your ancestors? And the recent madness of saying that any Agboromo tree called Odala tree or the local apple pear tree in the great Igbo nation, that we have come with another madness of burning, of rather cutting down these trees. Oh, that they make you not to prosper, that evil spirits come there to converge. I'm like, Jesus, people, where are your brains? Macbeth said, in that book, Macbeth, I think one of the quotes there is that it is the eye of the child that fears the painted devil. There is absolutely nothing like that. And in this case, I'm so disappointed, actually, that DSS has left what they should have looked for and displaying what they use in their traditional worship. Yet, you went in there, the mission failed because you couldn't move away with the assets. You couldn't neutralize the asset you went to take away.
In the first place, the amulet, the charms, are the paraphernalia of his religion. Have you arrested somebody with rosary? Have you arrested somebody with test bill? Why are you displaying all of those things? That is not part of what you should display. Then at the same time, the DSS came to his house. We have actually gone to places where I've sat with my lawyer friends that the way the DSS entered Igbo's house, was it proper? They said no. Was there an arrest warrant? Was there a search warrant? And don't forget that part of the issues described by the governor was that you cannot send people into a state when the chief executive is not aware. They went to Igbo's home. Governor Makinde was not aware of people coming to do such job. That is also a disrespect to the first citizen of the state, a disregard. Then let me also say this. When Afaraku, the place of Nnamdi Kanu, was actually besieged by the military, do not also forget that the governor of that state was not aware of it. Let us walk within the confines of the law that we have sworn to uphold. These things are the reasons the governors of the South are saying certain things should not happen. And let me say this very clearly. The agitations may not abate, because if you think you have curbed one, other people are actually rising up and saying, no, treat people. Do you know that the Anglican Church in the East, in Anambra, for instance, according to certain things that I read recently, have stopped the use of the Nigerian flag, and of course, they don't accommodate the national anthem again. That I read somewhere about 3 days or 48 hours ago. You see, when people see that you are not listening to them, they will find a way to get your attention. For instance, we are talking about the South people at the same time who are complaining. Has any respect been shown to the people of that region? Let us know that as students of political history, it took a lot of battle for them to even get the 13% derivation that they get today. And they are still telling you that the host communities are affected. Excuse me, people, I have traveled in the south of the country. I've gone to the pipelines. I am not a media person that sits in Lagos and talk. I have gone to the creeks. I've gone to the waterways of Ahoda. I've seen this pipeline, and I see the stark poverty in the lives of these people. Wow. Let us treat this country with fairness and justice so agitations can stop. I appreciate this platform, and thank you for having me.
So thank you very much, everybody. Clap for him. Clap for him clap for him in a language you would understand. So in any language you want to clap for him, you are free to do that. So having said that, people, obviously, we will be rounding up, but I would do no justice if I don't take my last part of that, which is part of this conversation, which is the basketball that many of you have seen. There was this basketball game where the Nigerian team was able to beat the Americans, and everyone's been talking about it. You ask yourself, why are people so talking about this? But before I get into that, I will say, first of all, our brother that lost his life on Saturday and was buried on Sunday, Sultan, may his soul,
veteran singer and artist,
may his soul rest in peace. Sultan, again, you will be greatly missed. Everyone, I say thank you very much once more for joining this evening. If you haven't liked this video, kindly do and share this video with others. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, please, on Facebook and on YouTube, you may do so. And for many of you, thank you very much, Kenry Bar, for the super chat. Much appreciated, Kenry. I know this Kenry, your super chat is going to go to Adeni Kunu, because Adeni, obviously, any person with any person that still has gray matters in between his skulls, very intact, would appreciate the candid talk that he gave this evening. And Kenry, we thank you very much for that super chat. Much appreciated. We hope others will join you in that. So let's quickly get to the last bit of this, evening broadcast, which is about this basketball team. What competence and what giving a free hand to run something does. Again, here we go with that conversation.
Olarinwaju Fasasi, popularly known as Sound Sultan, who died on Sunday in the United States after battling a rare form of lymphoma.
How I wish, say, I fit to reach you anywhere you did.
Our heart goes out to his
May his
players that found a way
rest
to
in peace.
His widow and his children. And I think our boys did it for him, our basketballers. I'm sure he would have been very happy about that.
Yes.
May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Well, let's begin what's trending by celebrating the Tigers, Nigeria's male basketball team, for pulling off an international shocker after they beat the U.S. male basketball team on Saturday night in a pre-Olympic exhibition game at the Mandalay Bay Arena in Las Vegas. The Nigerian team beat the U.S. 90-87 with a roster primarily filled with little-known NBA players.
And we're talking about US. So US was 2 days ago. I think yesterday they beat Argentina as well. So these guys on beating spray, just they beat them anyhow. They just beat US, beat
that
Argentina.
Found a way to defeat the group consisting of all-star, all-NBA, and max contract performers. Ike Iriobu, a former Washington State player who spent some time in the G League, including point guard Gabe Vincent, Caleb Aganda, and Precious Achunwa, put up an impressive performance in the encounter. The matchup serves as one of the tune-up games arranged by the Nigeria Basketball Federation for the team as they prepare for the 2020 Olympics, where they'll face Australia, Germany, and Italy. Dr. Bati, over to you. How exciting is this? I was screaming.
I was telling Aaron when he came on the program earlier that this was a weekend of history. Yes. And he immediately, focused on this, and it was big history. The Team USA, has an excellent record in basketball. The last time Nigeria met with that team USA, was 2012 London Olympics. And we were beaten by about 186 to maybe 67 or so. So nobody expected what happened yesterday. And understandably, everybody is excited. So congratulations to the team. Congratulations to Mike Brown, the coach of the team, who continues to promise that, look, Nigeria will pull a surprise in the Group B, where we are in basketball at the Tokyo Olympics when we get there. And we hope that we will even do better beyond the Group B level, where we have Germany and Australia to face. But I think what is important to note is that these players, if you break it down, all those players except one, except Precious Achua, were all born in the United States. So these were Nigerian basketballers, members of the D Tigers, who had no complex. At least about 6, 7 of them.
Dr. Abati, it has nothing to do with complex. It has everything to do with, when the coach is given a free hand to do the needful, there is no question, oh, you need to balance it. Then you go and get someone who just finished drinking Frada Nono. And he just yanked that person together with other people who have certain competencies, and you expect them to do wonders. In the same way, we clamor for and we say, enough of the madness. When you say someone from Yobe should score the number 2, meaning even if that person is an imbecile, you can get 2, because this is an objective question. 2. And yet, a child from Anambra State who is expected to score 139 for that same exam, you ask yourself, does that child have 2 heads? What manner of injustice are you doing to your own children? Because that cannot be love. Vincent Akora, thank you very much for the super chat, Vincent Akora. So let's listen to what Abati's contribution on this.
Also play in the NBA. It was not as if they would be starstruck or they were meeting people they could not take on. And you could see the confidence. You could see the courage. They were meeting the USA team, man to man.
Yes.
And they proved that they were, up to it. Yes, we're celebrating in Nigeria, but I would like to see a situation whereby, we can also have a basketball tournament championship in Nigeria that can produce people of this excellent quality.
I beg, how can you, please don't make me laugh. How can you expect to make something like this? How? Where men have used the monies voted for such stadiums to buy cars, where men live with squander and velo, where men, live extravagantly, where men prefer to commingle the monies meant for such public places and convert them into flashy things, showing how many convoys. Oh, he has a G Guard. Oh, he has a G Wagon. Oh, he has this. There is no society that will make progress as long as men and women who are supposed to guide and lead the people are operating at that pedestrian. We cannot make it. Look at these children. Yes, because they were born abroad, but again, they are proud and they wanted to represent that nation called Nigeria, even against all odds of injustices being done to their people. But why again did they get to that point? Because there was a coach who said, conditions of training these children will be, give me the free hand to make to make my decision. I want to blind my eyes to someone called Okeke or Adamu or Saraki. I don't bloody care. If any of them is qualified and is competent enough, bring that person in. Hey, in Nigeria, you make laws, you say federal character, yet the same federal character, you cannot even keep up to it. Okay, reduce it to competence. No, we have seen how airplane drivers, how competent they are, and Jesus Christ. Anyway, calm down.
Quality.
That's the goal.
Who can represent Nigeria at the highest level. I know that all the time. If you look even at the female basketball team that people are also saying could spring a surprise at Tokyo Olympics, most of them were born in America. They are Nigerian Americans, or if you like, American Nigerians. But it's good, we claim them when they excel as Nigerian diamonds, whether they excel in politics or in sports. The second leg of it, which is a lesson that we should learn, is that when Brown took over this team, he gave a condition that nobody from Nigeria should dictate to him with regard to the selection of the team. So this is not like the...
Did you hear that? The key suspects to this team is Mr. Brown insisting that no one should dictate to him. Imagine if this list of players were submitted to the Nigerian Sports Commission or whatever. Somebody would have looked at it. Kai, Damboroba Sege, Watin, Akoi that. I they see only that in the circle. Watin, now that in the circle, everywhere, that in the circle. Akoi Biafran team ni. You go, this is Biafran team and Aduduwa. Ide Kwansalam. So go make it go bring Adamu, go bring Ropai, go bring Megida. You hit me, no take anything. You go hit me, you go split it into two. You go hit me for 6 Adamu, you go hit me for 6 Biafran boys. You go hit me for 2 Adudua, 2 Iboho. You go hit me 2 Atarida Kubo. It don't conflict. We would have been in that mess. And that's why we are getting nowhere, because we don't put our first 11s forward. You watching me now, we must stop this madness. If at all you're going to ever vote again for people, stop voting for thieves. Those you know that they thief. Get and start voting only for men who have ideas upstairs, who can give something in return. But let's continue.
Nigerian football, a usual Nigerian situation, whereby one minister will sit in his palatial office and draw up the list, federal character, this person must come from Jigawa State. This one must come from Akwa Ibom. You know, we should show federal character because
federal character, even the federal character, we are not able to. At least in this government, we've seen it. Everything, if we talk about federal character. You see the funny thing, a child from Katsina will need 12 to pass Unity School. A child from Anambra will need 139. A child from Lagos will need 128. A child from Imo will need 138. Now, when it comes to these children who go into secondary school, they will come out with WAEC. Suddenly, they will now want to go and look for work, and they all applied for DSS. You would think that those with higher scores would probably have some percentages of lead. No. You'll see that 422 people were recruited. Over 50% of them will come from one state, Katsina. Drill down. Over 60% will come from one geopolitical region, Northwest. You ask yourself, what happens to those that graduated with these competencies, and you still keep wondering why NMPC, for Christ's sake, would be paying people salaries and allowance, yet they are not refining a single drop, as in not, maybe the only drop is the one they use in lubricating the nuts. And that is where you actually look at the people managing it, all of them answering big names, and you're not ashamed.
Now, you know, this was not a federal character team. It was a team that was based on merit.
Absolutely.
And the next point I'm going to make is not original. I'm lifting it from Dr. Doyin Okupe on Facebook. He said, look, if you look at the breakdown of that team, 15 of them, you know, the team that took part in that particular match yesterday, 13 are from the Southeast. One.
Listen now. When some of you will begin to say, Mazi, why are you using dot in the circle? Look at it here. I keep saying it. I'm proudly a dotted man. My t-shirt is coming. Hopefully by weekend, I'll have my t-shirt, and my t-shirt will be dotted man. When we say we are the dot in the circle, it's not arrogant. Now you talker. You people gave it to us. You said these people, they are dot in the circle, they will not have access to the sea. But the dot in the circle is what we call Oberensi Nemebike. Proudly spare past the line. Yet, let Abati repeat those numbers so that let that sink in for one moment. Abati, repeat those numbers.
On Facebook. He said, look, if you look at the breakdown of that team, 15 of them.
There are only 15. 15 of the best we have for football. 15. The 15 best brains we can find within that, area. 15 of them. And can you break it down for us, Ibn Abati?
No, the team that took part in that particular match yesterday, 13 are from the Southeast.
This tiny dot. Avoid this very, 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 very small dot. Avoid that in the circle. Avoid that in the circle. It'll go. Look at me, that in the circle. That is the dot in the circle. 12. 13.
Is from the Southwest.
Kai. One Aduduwa, it don't go. Avoid 13 that in the circle, one Aduduwa.
Only one is from the South.
One it come from the creek. You see, if they tell you, he never understanding me. All of these people, 15, Southern Nigeria. So, if Southern Nigeria is a country, people make it a think. If Southern Nigeria is in a country, if in a country, Kai. I know we'll talk what in will happen in Nigeria, Russia, or Gaskiani. EP now, country EV. EP before it finish waiting, it talk now, it go see me for DSS, it don't they climb my fence, it come. If it DSS, they watch me, it for main road, it come. To if DSS, it come, I will do my hand like this. DSS make it they quarry me, it don't finish. Didn't know my liar, it don't talk. If I talk, I will die. If I never talk, I will die. So I go in, make I they talk and make I they die, they go. See him?
So when it came to this important match, although it was a tune-up match, it wasn't. It was just an exhibition game, a tune-up match. But the US, they put all their stars there. Nigeria also deployed this team. Nobody looked at, 13 people are from Southeast. Only one person is from Southwest. Nigeria put its best foot forward, and we performed. So if Southeasterners can produce people who can change history and beat Team USA, maybe the people are also saying, look, if you look towards the Southeast, maybe you will find somebody there who can move Nigeria forward.
Absolutely.
In 2023.
It's a no-brainer. I like that. I
message.
love that point. They had like Kevin Durant.
Well, my brother ni about faith. Make we tell ourselves the truth. If he look me, is not interested. If he look me, because we have spoiled everything. We have spoiled everything. Where is confidence? There is no confidence. There is no credibility. This government is come inside. He telling me he's going to fight me for corruption. So where is he fighting me for corruption? He telling me he's going to protect life and property. Where he protect life in the property. He telling me he's going to do this one. He never do. He they do like that man. He carry cow. He come from Sakoto. He go Amaya. Every time he get me for girlfriend for Akigwe. He go give me every time he come to Amariani. He don't come. Every time he go give me some. He go bring me for grass quarter. And the way he go kill me. He go bring him. He go give him for the girlfriend for Akigwe. But every time he go tell me, he go come in the night. He goes there to make it go inside the room. The small, he go tell me, Kai, me gida ni asing wanaka. I give me for my small girl. He give me for breast aging wanaka. Every time he tell me asing wanaka. If you one day a boy, I go best. I go best because. They call me that in the circle, that in the circle, that in the circle. If I get every time he won't go somewhere, he must start for that before he go. If he Gaskiani, I understanding mathematics, he go bring me my mathematically set. He bring me compass. Before he start everything, the compass, he go find soundless. He go come for the other one, it will be like this. Before you go begin, they draw, they go lungu, that na that in the circle. So that in the circle, make I know what's in the talk.
And on the team, it was so amazing that they were able to beat Team USA in the manner that they did.
I know the whole world loves a David and Goliath story, don't we? No matter where it comes, sports, anything, we love it. And especially because they're Nigerian like us, and I see you're wearing the colors.
You are so smart. I did this for Nigeria. I had to wear this green. I am so excited, Rufai.
In fact, I think we should go one step further. You might say I'm just being so happy or very excited. I think they should all be given national honors. All of those boys that did do
well. National honor? Rufai. Sometimes I think you are going sense, but this one, you know what? It's not going to work because who is going to approve? Approve national honor. If they look at me, all this Biafra, if they give me Biafra for national honor, it not go work. Rufai. Make it a talk about it because
beat America. You know what it means to beat America? This is what they brag for. This is what they live for. This is what the NBA is all about.
Yes.
And it shows that we truly have the stars that can do well in this country. And even if it's just an MON, even if they don't do that great in the Olympics, as long as they have beaten that American team with Kevin Durant and all the stars there, you know, they should be honored, given a national honor. One step further, a very inspiring story that came out of the team yesterday was an interview I saw with Gabe Vincent, and he said about one of his uncles or something that says, "What's your name?" And he said, "My name is Gabe Vincent." And he said, "No, that's not your name." "What's your name?" "My name is Gabe Vincent." I said, "No." He said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Nnamdi." His middle name is Nnamdi. And that's to show you that no matter where you go in the world, you're always a Nigerian. That identification is there. It runs in your spirit, it runs in your blood, and that's what you represent. And we shine so bright like the stars. Even if they don't play for Nigeria, they show that Nigerians don't carry last anywhere. Look
That's
at
our
Giannis.
slogan.
Look at Giannis Adetokunbo. He shows that Nigerian spirit every time.
Rufai, I am not going to get angry with you because you Nina, my friend. The problem is not people they talk me for Nigeria. The problem, what is happening, the people avoid the Adua nation is doing very great. You see, the Biafran voice, they are doing very great. Some people, they call it the Biafran voice, they calling them for your spare parts dealer. I am a fraud spare part dealer because you go buy fraud. If you're Frado, where I did drive me for main road, where he never built, you can go buy Frado zip. Sometimes our head is not correct. We go buy big car. Everybody, they go buy big car. Nobody they buy a smaller one. Everybody, I call big eye, they go buy big car. I know get me for road, and they drive me for big car. Babuni. I know get me for security. If they buy a big car, you know, Pete go from Abuja to Kaduna with a big car, because if you do, Akoi Amajiri people, small fikin. I was not able to train this small fikin. Akoi, he grow, he become Yaro. They wait to be for me for Kaduna. They go, he say, they go Abuja, ni, bam, I go catch me. Carry me, they go inside the bush. You go pay ransom. Me. You must pay ransom. It's because the system is not working. If the system is the work, what I call two head, why you no go think, I go think solve this problem. Sometimes at the best, If you look at me for waiting at the happening me for Nigeria, at the best. Because it cannot be looking every time, and you no go happy. You no go happy. If we dey happy for Nigeria, everything at the happening, you not tip. Because you the tip money. Nobody in the tip money, if they work very hard, you know they happy. If we dey happy the way in Nigeria it dey go, because Nigeria it dey go lungu. If we dey happy, you not tip. And they tell me, Gaskiani, last prize, if you dey happy, you not tip. It follow them.
It shows that can-do spirit, what we're all about. But sometimes you just hope and you pray that our politicians can show that same spirit in passing this electoral bill. Sometimes you hope they can bring back electronic voting to bring about transparency and fairness. But you know the thing? If
Rufai, please don't crack me up. I'll stop the accent. Some of you say you're no longer following. Rufai is talking about bringing electronic voting. These men and women are not interested in giving you any electronic voting. They are not interested. They want to stop. You see, sometimes listen, Why must everything be about agitation? Why must people, you have the right and you have the time, you have the opportunity to do something right, and you still want people to come out to protest and agitate? You promised people in the diaspora that you're going to do something for them, that you're going to give them the right to vote in their place of abode, and you have failed absolutely in the last 6 years to even advance that to happening. Now you have the chance to do away with thugs by, that singular act will reduce electoral violence. That when these things are keyed in on the spot, everybody can just log in and be looking the result come in. But because men we have elected, or men who have selected themselves on our behalf, sit down there and say, no, we're not going to make it, because if we do, we are not going to come back in 2023 to continue the rape and the destruction of the little that is left. No, they're not going to do that. And you hope they will. It just breaks my heart that, when you see things that is normal, that ought to have happened without questions asked, and some people are just doing it in a way that people will say, okay, we know good. Why do we like rough fight all day? Why can't we just freaking do the right thing and move on?
If the politicians let them down or let us down, we will never stop showing that Nigerian spirit, because that's what we truly represent. And hopefully someday they'll come on board. These are our true stars. These are our true heroes. And please, President Buhari, these guys deserve a national honor for that singular act of beating America.
Rufai, I'm willing to bet you on this. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because these are already, someone is sitting somewhere in Abuja saying that these are Biafran boys. These are spare fast dealers. These are the whole, the dat in the circle. The dat in the circle. The spare parts dealers. The Biafran boys. How can the Biafran boys come together with Aboho and the people from the creeks? That is not correct, because there is no federal character. So it's not going to happen. You're just having it's good to be optimistic, but on this one, optimistic is buried. It's not going to happen. I'm willing to.
We deserve something for these guys.
Before we go, there's a third leg to it. You know that some Americans, they started ridiculing us. They said, yes, you may have won, you may have beaten Team USA, but these are people who don't even have food in Nigeria. That's sour grapes. We don't accept that. We have made history. We are beating them, and it's a fact. It's gone down in history.
Yes, congratulations.
We'll deal with our problems, but this one is a historical fact.
Congratulations, the Tigers. Nigeria, no, they carry last. That's our slogan. We'll have to go on a short break now. Equipment was handed to the police by the Nigerian government, but the force had failed to pay subscription fees since 2015.
Listen to this. You think you've listened to
has remained inactive since.
You think you've listened to something that is very awkward until you listen to this. You know that Nigeria is in a deep, deep place. Let me not use, let's keep it civil. Nigeria is in a deep place that is it's going to be very tough for them to come up. Listen to it.
Since the beginning of the year. According to the news outfit, the downtime of the tracking equipment was due to non-subscription and the failure of the police to engage the relevant company to carry out a system upgrade, among other challenges. A commissioner of the police who claimed anonymity said the equipment was handed to the police by the Nigerian government, but the force had failed to pay subscription fees since 2015. The commissioner added that the police now rely solely on the Department of State Security and the Office of the National Security Advisor to engage the bandits. Let's take some comments real quick. One is from Oloide Israel, who wrote, "How did Gumi get their hideouts without gadgets?" Also, Johnson Sunday wrote, "Those tracking equipment were so active during NSAS protests, they picked up activists from their homes." This is quite shocking. I believe that the police has yet to release a statement regarding this blazing report by the Punch newspaper. It was splashed over on the cover of Punch newspaper yesterday. They need to come out and tell us what really is going on.
They do, because this is real investigative journalism, and it is shocking when you think, as is cited in that report, 2,943 Nigerians have been abducted. The Nigerian
2,942 Nigerians. Not chickens, not goats, not cows. They are not rustled. These are human beings like you and I. And now they come up and tell you that, oh, the tracking equipment that actually we're supposed to use in doing some of these things, we haven't renewed the subscription to since 2015. And someone who is heading some of these things, after this nonsense, the individual will still be there, working. No one will be sacked. No consequences whatsoever. And you want a system to work with that manner of thinking and approach?
Public, we're doing our best. When the minister, Issa Pantami, announced that they're going to suspend the sale of SIM cards, everybody had to register, we duly complied. Now the security agencies have to do their bit as well, and they're not. This is beyond dropping the ball. If you don't pay for a subscription that's usually yearly, it's annual, and you don't pay since 2015, we're just sitting here. We're like sitting ducks right now. It's really just staggering. This complete incompetence, complete lack of a sense of responsibility to the people that you are sworn to serve. So I'm also expecting a rebuttal from the police with proof. It's necessary at this point. And kudos for the people who conducted this research, this investigative piece, to expose this. We need to know. We're sleeping in our beds and people are just letting us down left, right, and center.
Yeah. If we could pull up the charts there.
And the worst part is that no one, and that is, sometimes I need to maybe smack myself to understand that I'm really still alive and I haven't gone gaga. Honestly, that we are having this conversation, that no one is taking responsibility, no one is resigning, no one is being pushed out, no one is being punished. None of the above. Jeez.
Where it details the amount of people that have been kidnapped on a monthly basis in Nigeria. If you could pull that up, in January, 284, February, 605, March, 534, April, 316, May, 355, in June, 277. This is appalling. Dr. Abati.
Well, in Kaduna State alone, according to another report, 949 persons have been kidnapped this year between January and March alone. And according to the Nigerian Security Tracker, which is a publication of the U.S. Council on Foreign Relations, curated by former U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, over 3,000 persons have been kidnapped in Nigeria this year alone. Whatever the correct figures are, because these figures, you never know. Nobody should be kidnapped. Everybody within this geographical space called Nigeria should be safe. Now, as to the main story, that the Nigeria police has no tracking equipment, or it has acquired in 2015, but because subscription fees have not been paid.
You know what it means? I beg, I know one laugh. I know one laugh. They said, we haven't paid subscription since 2015. We haven't paid subscription since 2015. People, are you listening to this level of madness? This level of Iberiberism? Huh? Okorocha would say Iberiberism. Me, I would say Iberiberism squared. Iberiberism squared, as in square root. Many of you that understand the mathematical language. This is Iberiberism squared.
Since January this year, the police in Nigeria does not have a tracker. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's scandalous. And I think it's not about the police offering an explanation.
There is no explanation on this.
Correct.
And all the characters bearing fanciful titles, wearing a uniform, and claiming to be working for the Nigerian state should be investigated. Whoever is responsible for it should be sanctioned appropriately. Because if you were to look at police budget, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a line item there where provision has been made for the maintenance of this tracking equipment. And nobody has been ensuring that, normal subscription is paid. We're even told that the private company that is in charge even gave a period, of moratorium, some kind of patriotic intervention, and still nothing was done until that tracking equipment collapsed. And now the police in Nigeria has to depend on the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Department of State Services. How ridiculous. At a time when internationally everybody is talking about technology. Our previous guest talked about the use of technology to monitor crime. Senator Shehu Sani, right? That is what is done internationally.
Absolutely,
we're in the age of
Dr.
technology.
Martin.
We're no longer in the age of weigh your particulars.
Now let me quickly share this with us so that we understand where we are, that we are in a very, when I say this, we're in a very, very bad place. Now, here you will see the static sense that was pushed out by Njenje Media a couple of days ago. You see that in the Northwest, obviously you have it there, Northwest alone. This is insecurity, total number of people reported kidnapped. You see that in the Northwest alone, you have 1,405. North Central, 942. Northeast, 210. South, 140. Now, Southwest, 169. And Southeast, 77. 77. 77. Right? You can see that. Now, does it bother you that, yes, every life matters? No one, not you, not me, not my enemy, deserves to be kidnapped. That is given. But look at this. Look at this case. Why is Northwest not being overrun by the military and DSS and whatever you have? Why is the Southeast being overrun? How? These are questions that when you look at this, again, I say the statistics don't lie. These are from StatSense, very reputable company, and these informations are out there. And you look at this next chart. You see the local government with most kidnap incident in the first Q, the first half, that's January to June 2021. Rafi, Niger, 443. Tarata, Marafi, Zamfara, 317. Shiroro, Niger. So now add 443 to 225, that's 2 Niger there. See, Niger and Zamfara, they won the trophy, followed by Kaduna, because you can see Chikum, Kajuru there, all in Kaduna. You now have KB, Katsina, Kaduna again, right? These are the local government. Okay. Now, deaths and kidnappings in the first half, according to the Nigerian Security Tracker incident reports, there have been over 5,000 deaths and over 2,900 kidnapped between January, blah, 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 right? Now, you go to the bottom, you see it again, it repeats the same stats. Southeast as the bottom. Number of deaths. And these are, this could have been you and I. And that's the heartbreaking one. It could be you and I. 958 people in January alone. People who ought not to die. Jesus Christ. And when you look at these things, I'm like, are we not? Why are others not saying the same thing, that there is a clear case of abnormality here? For the first time in the 12th position came Anambra, okay, well, Ebonyi, Benue, Ebonyi, it's given because we saw what happened in Ebonyi between March and April when people were hacked to death. And, Imo State, maybe because of the incidents then, and Anambra as well. And these things just keep, getting to you somehow, that our lives amount to nothing. Our lives amount to nothing. This is number of people kidnapped and number of people dead. Jeez. So people, all these things is just that sometimes we look at it, it really makes you want to think what is actually going on. It's really, really heartbreaking and outrageous. So let's quickly finish this guy so that we round up.
But here, unfortunately, that's the level where we are because we have an antediluvian police system. Why is that police system antediluvian? A lot of people have offered ideas. There are people who are saying the Nigerian police system is over-centralized. If you look at the story, the way they are talking about the tracking equipment, it looks like the whole of Nigeria, this over 900,000 square kilometers of space with 36 states with over 200 million people, has only one tracking equipment, the Nigeria police that is policing it. So, in a serious-minded society, country, you will have a decentralized police. Exactly. There will be tracking equipment everywhere, even in every police station. Every state and this whole story is about one tracking equipment for the whole of Nigeria. That in itself is scandalous. Maybe that is where we need an explanation.
Absolutely.
Why it is only one, managed by one company, protecting the whole of Nigeria.
In a common sense nation there should be protocol, there should be, benchmarks, there should be guidelines. If you want to procure yours from Israel, go ahead and do that. If you want to procure from Huawei, I don't bloody care which company. All we want is results. And by the way, there are indigenous companies that do this. There is one in the Southwest that said they don't even use drones, not visual drones, but carbon dioxide, so that even when they are in the bush, they are running. These things are able to dictate, even when they go into a cave, they should be able to dictate, oh, there is something breathing out from here. Believing that says talk, and talk. Well, what can you go and do? If you're not interested in conversation, then go to Abuja and sort it out yourself. I mean, people. I would rather say type, and type, because that's what you're going to do from your Android phone.
There are some stories that, in fact, when we bring them onto international TV, it will look like we are taking other people in decent societies to the dark age. Absolutely. This is one of those stories.
Oh, come on now, but that's what we have done now, since we have reduced conversation to open grazing and non-open grazing. Open grazing, and somebody will tell you, if you stop open grazing, we'll attack you, we'll not make peace, we'll make this, we'll make the other one. You say, what is open grazing? That the cow will be moving around everywhere. Imagine in the city of London, you go to what's it called? You go to Trafalgar Square and cows are. Only the imagination alone runs. You can imagine for many of you watching me from America now, in the White House, the lawn in front of White House, and you see, I beg, how we've reduced ourselves to cow conversation beats me silly. How we reduced ourselves to this conversation.
So this is perhaps a justification for state police. If we have state police, we have a decentralized police. Ogun State can have its own tracking equipment. Lagos State can have its own. Other states can have their own. They can monitor security, and there will be synergy, maybe at a national level. But one tracking equipment collapsing in police headquarters in Nigeria for this kind of country, this big country.
It's absurd.
Some people should be flogged.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Dr. Abati.
Anyway, Dr. Abati, you're only talking about flogging. Me, I think the flogging cane, the koboko, the bolala, must be Cameroon peppered and tear gassed. There maybe add some lemon and ginger and garlic, garnish it. All the things we would probably use from 1st of September to start doing our street barbecues when the law of open grazing comes into force, that any cow we see on the road should be and must be barbecued. So in doing that as well, we should allow some spices as well to use in the koboko that we're going to use in flogging those that are in charge of such madness. And people, on that note, I will say thank you very much for being my guest this evening. Tomorrow I'll be having Pastor Uche William Anolefo, who says he has a message for the Igbo nation. So let's join tomorrow 7 o'clock and see what he has to tell the Igbo nation. On that note, I will say thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time spending this time with me. I am still your host, Mazezoke. Remain blessed and have a fantastic evening. Peace out.